Hey everyone, Cithryth here with another vlog. This past week I hit another milestone goal for my Patreon, and this one is to start a new series. So there's lots of possibilities and ideas I haven't covered with my current lineup, and I've asked my Patreons to let me know if they have any specific ideas or games they'd like to see me cover. So far, both Athelros and Alex have said that I should do a Dark Souls playthrough, and that would definitely be a very different kind of game than what I normally play. So it would be pretty interesting. But if you're a Patreon or patron, whatever, and you're listening to this right now, please go ahead and comment if you have any like game ideas or suggestions, because that would be, that's part of when you donate to me, you get to help decide those things. So yeah, do that. I'm definitely not gonna start this new series soon though, unfortunately. I'm still trying to get back into the swing of recording and editing and uploading on my regular schedule again, like for what I already have, like all the series I already have going. While taking a nice long vacation was great, it definitely messed up my workflow and motivation. This week I'm going to really power through my motivation issues and just really get stuff done, record stuff. Hopefully it'll be good. We'll see. Generally, I haven't done a whole lot of gaming the past 2 weeks. I've done, like, the requisite amount of Lotro to work on my Lore Master videos and to do Lotro Players Adventures stuff, but otherwise I haven't done much else. I did pick up Reprisal Universe to do a review on it since it's an old school inspired God game, and you know how I love God games and strategy games like that. So that's been pretty interesting. It's pixel graphics God game, which is not something I've really played before. But yeah, I'm gonna do a review on that. And yeah, it's pretty good so far. My no gaming streak was pretty solidly broken though this weekend, because my husband and I found out that Guild Wars 2 was having a free trial week from September 25th to October 1st. And we played all weekend and are super into it now. We have some friends here in New Zealand that play. Because of the upfront cost of the game and there was no trial before, we didn't really want to try it that much because it'd be like $50 just to try a game and then maybe not like it, so not so great. But once we saw the trial announcement, we started downloading it. And we're both around level 15, 16 right now. I have a Char Guardian, and he has a Char Warrior, and that pretty much matches what our Lotro characters are. He plays a champion in Lotro, and a warrior is basically melee DPS, and I play a captain, and the guardian in Guild Wars 2 is basically like a paladin kind of tanky healy thing. So, same thing. The Char race is really cool, not just because they're giant cats, and I love cats, but because they are giant steampunk warrior cats with horns. And that is really cool. So Chars are pretty much awesome. I recommend them. The other races also seem pretty interesting. There's the tree/plant people called the Sylvari, and then there's the short Harry Potter house elf type race called the Asura. That's like the closest thing I can think of. Because they're a short race, but they're obviously not hobbity. They're like kind of house elfy. One of my favorite things about the game so far is the character creation. Not only do you have like the basic race, gender, class, physical look type stuff that you choose, but you also pick personality attributes and class specific items or ideals that shape your like storyline for your character, and that's really interesting. There's just a whole lot of unique stuff going on with Guild Wars 2, and I'm really glad they did a trial week. And not only was it a trial week, but they also put the game on sale at 50% off, which was amazing. So me and my husband got the game, and I foresee many hours being poured into this game in the future. And I might even stream some on my Hitbox sometime. So you should probably follow me on Twitter if you don't already, just in case I do some random Guild Wars 2 streams. Or generally any other random streams, because that happens. Yeah, so follow me on Twitter if you don't already. One thing I'm interested in learning more about with Guild Wars 2 is the cosmetic system. Big surprise, right? But it seems pretty good so far. I like the fact that when you do character creation, You can pick the dye colors your armor uses. In Lotro and in other MMOs, the starting areas can be full of identical characters with just different haircuts or different hair colors. But in Guild Wars 2, there's a lot more initial customization that makes a big visual impact. So not just the clothes colors, but also you pick your character's height and your body build, and they're like, when you're doing character creation, it seems like it's not going to be that big of a deal. But once you get out into the world and start interacting with other players, you definitely notice it. So everybody is very, very unique looking, which, you know, is great for me. I love that. Since I've been playing a new MMO, this vlog's game industry topic thing, or whatever this section is about MMO UI schemes and how they can really make or break new player retention. One thing that always bugs me when I start a new MMO is the UI. The thing that takes me the longest to figure out and navigate usually isn't the class mechanics or the skill rotation or anything like that, but the UI. It so frequently feels like the UI in MMOs is designed assuming you already understand everything about the game, or at the very least that you're already well acquainted with the MMO norms like chat boxes and character panels and quick slots and mini-maps and skill points and all that other metagame stuff. Even as someone who has been playing MMOs for a while, every time I start a new MMO, the UI takes hours and hours to get used to. Something I've noticed with a lot of MMOs is tiny fonts, or narrow fonts. Tiny UI fonts, tiny floating name fonts, all that stuff. It's not that I have trouble reading it, like I can read it fine, but bigger font sizes are undoubtedly easier to read, and they can just generally feel more friendly. I think part of the reason I feel like Lotro's UI is so much more approachable than other games is because the default font is not only larger, but the letters themselves are also wider than the ones used in other games. Now, this idea could be totally wrong. I'm basing this just on my own personal experiences and perception of UI in games, and it's also hard because I've been playing Lotro for nearly 7 years now, and it was my first MMO, and it's really hard to peel away that much bias that is so ingrained like that. But I definitely plan on looking at the differences between MMOs, Guild Wars 2 and Lotro specifically, some more, and we'll probably post about it more on my blog, which I've been writing on again lately, in case you didn't notice. So that's a thing. But I think that's about all I have to say for today. So thank you again so much for your support on Patreon, and just generally. Even if you don't donate, thank you. You are all very awesome, and I will see you around the internet.